across the country together to actually find it in themselves to stand up and to become a part of something that's bigger than themselves. You know, I think a lot of people have been kind of living in the dark a little bit about what's really going on here. I think a lot of people were maybe didn't view this as a violation of their constitutional rights as Americans, but on a bigger scale, as a human being walking the earth, that it was a violation of your human rights to mandate something like this. And unfortunately, it's going on all over the world. So, biggest accomplishment, I think, is people that never spoke up before standing up and starting to speak and stand their ground and exercise their First Amendment rights, whether they believe in the vaccine or not. You know, this is about protecting the Constitution. This is about protecting your rights as an American and your rights as a human being walking the earth, you know. So just seeing that, people that never stood up before or maybe were a little too scared to do it, just seeing these people stand up is really, I think, is the biggest accomplishment of the convoy so far.
Some people still do not know what the convoy is, what the whole movement is about. So can you explain it briefly? What are your main goals?
Yeah, right now what we're trying to fight is to end the state of emergency, because we don't believe there is an emergency for one. But on top of it, it allows them to it allows the government to suspend the Constitution of the United States at their whim. Not that they've done that, but they have the ability to do that if they see fit at this point in time. Basically, they're stripping away our constitutional freedoms as Americans. And so we obviously want to end that state of emergency as quickly as possible. And then we want to obviously get rid of the mandates, get rid of the vaccine mandate. That's the big one. A lot of people say, oh, well, the mask mandates are gone. Well, it's not true everywhere, for one. And two, it's more than just the mask mandate. It's the vaccine mandate. That's the one that we really want to put an end to it. Look, we're not anti-vaxxers. We're not far left, far right. We don't believe this is a left issue or a right issue. This is an American issue. It's about your freedoms. It's more than just the vaccine. It's about your freedoms as an American and as a human being walking this earth on a global scale. The other thing is we're looking for accountability. Accountability of our elected officials and unelected officials through bipartisan hearings and investigations into the true origins of the pandemic, and then the government's response, both at the federal and state levels, response to the pandemic.
So what are your future plans?
Well, right now we're going to roll up. After this, we're going to roll up to Sacramento, and we call them the Tyrannical 10. It's 10 bills that the state of California is trying to push through. If even just one of those pass, it's very detrimental to your freedoms as an American, as a Californian. Anybody here from California? I'm from Ohio, but we're here to help them too, you know, all the way across. And I encourage everybody in surrounding states to get to Sacramento as fast as possible and stand your ground, because typically the way California goes, the rest of the nation goes when it comes to these laws that are passed at the state level.
Yeah, we're truly grateful for you coming down here, because I believe in California this is where we need it most right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
So people who want to support you, where can they find you?
ThePeoplesConvoy.org is our website. You can go there and donate if you so choose. You can also go there to follow more information, and then I have a personal Facebook page that you can follow along called The Real _ Brian Brase, BrianBrase. So The Real Brian Brase. Oh, no, that's my Instagram, my bad. Facebook is Brian Brase Official.
Where can people find you in Sacramento? Where are you going to be?
Well, we're going to be at the state capitol, so details on that are still coming out. We're still developing that plan. We'll be in the LA area for about a week. The House is out of session because of Easter, and when they come back, we plan on being there for their arrival.
I've been following you, and I know you had a chance to meet with several politicians so far, but how is the response? I mean, what's your take on it?
Well, the senators all seem very accepting of us and stand behind us. The congressmen and women, on the other hand, first off, nobody on the Democrat side will meet with us. That's the first thing. And the Republicans that do meet with us on the House side, you can just tell that they feel deflated, and defeated. They're not willing to reach across the aisle to work with the Democrats at all to try to put an end to this. You try to explain to them that this isn't a party issue, this is an American issue, and they just don't seem to. I actually have a better chance of getting a meeting with a Democrat than they do with their own Democrat colleagues. And I don't know whose fault that is. Is that the Republicans' fault or the Democrats' fault? Either way, They both suck right now, and they need to figure out how to break the mold and actually work together to represent their constituents.
So what do you think is going to happen at the upcoming elections?
Oh, I don't know, really. I think that it's time to clean house, but I don't know that we have enough new candidates to do so yet. I think you'll see probably a red wave. I think the Democrats will lose the House. I think that's a no-brainer at this point, which, you know, I try not to lean to the right or to the left at all, but right now with the Democrats so unwilling to listen to the people, I think it's necessary. I think we need to get more independents in office. I think it's time to get people that don't align with either the Republicans or the Democrats in office. Maybe a freedom party, whatever you would call it, you know. Somebody that, politicians that, or individuals that come from a hard-working background, that understand that how detrimental these laws can be to us, or these mandates to us, to the working class individuals of the country. And I think it's time that we get more of them in office, and I'm hoping that that's what happens.
And the last question, there are a lot of people who are watching us right now, so what would be your message to those people?
No matter where you're at, no matter what country you are at, the time to stand up is now. This is a global issue. This is a major human rights violation, and the United States, as well as many other countries, have gone to war over human rights violations, and now we have human rights being violated on a global scale. So whether you're a truck driver, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a factory worker, sanitation, it doesn't matter what your job is or lack thereof a job, and it doesn't matter what country you're in. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to push back. Now is the time to remind our governments and governments around the world that they work for us.
Thank you. That's a great message. I love it. Thank you so much.
Well, they decided to drive across the country to come support you amazing people. Please give it up for our trucker convoy. Wow, this is something. I never in my wildest dreams would have thought I'd be standing here as a truck driver. I can tell you that much. However, here we are, huh? Can't believe it. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's followed us, everybody that's come along, everybody that's stood up, and particularly there's a bunch of doctors that got a hold of us when we started putting this together, that joined forces and made this thing just crazy. Ryan Cole, Pierre Corey, Richard Urso, Robert Malone, and Dr. Lock 'em Up, Paul Alexander. Lock 'em up! So we started in California, and we're back. You know, we went to D.C. and we got there and obviously have our First Amendment rights trumped on by some snowplows everywhere around town. And then we found out about these bills that are getting ready to be voted on out here in California, and they directly align with what this convoy stands for, which is your freedom of choice, our constitutional rights, our human rights, and our God-given rights. And we said, hey, you know what? Maybe we should go back to Sacramento and let them know that there's people that ain't have us. So now here we are, and I'm going to ask all of you that are out here and watching to join us in Sacramento starting on the 18th. We're going to be there for about probably a week or two. We got to get the right people in LA, Ventura, all over California. Follow us along at thepeoplesconvoy.org. find out where we're at. We're going to head out here in SoCal and head up there next weekend. We won't be too hard to miss, and I hope I see all of you along. Your voices need to be heard. And with that, my high school buddy, Brase.
Hello, LA! Wow, look at all of you. I can't believe it. I can't even talk. Bye, have a good day. Man, I can't even begin. Like Mike said, it's so humbling to see all this and the support that we got going all the way across the country from Adelanto, California to Hagerstown on to DC and then all the way back. You guys are amazing. This country's amazing. Everyone's starting to wake up and it's about time. A lot of people tried to paint us as anti-vaxxers or alt-right or some craziness, right? That ain't us. Listen, we're not doctors. We're not lawyers. We're not scientists. We don't work in labs. We have no idea whether it's safe or not. There's a lot of other qualified people that'll do that part. But I'll tell you something. We are Americans. We are humans. By such, we are protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. This is not a left issue. This is not a right issue. This is an American issue. This is a global issue. This is a violation of your human rights in countries around the world. So I ask everyone around the world, not just in this nation, but around the world, to stand up. Now is the time to remind our government and governments around the world that they work for us! We appreciate that to Sacramento. Big shout out to Fire Station 68. Over 7,000 first responders just in LA County are about to lose their job for standing up. 68 and all first responders in the state of California and around the nation.
We're on the steps.
People's Convoy has your